Hari Om. In this video, we are going to talk about the warehouse schema, the different types of warehouse schema. We have already covered what is data warehousing, multi-dimensional data model, OLAP operations, and we have also seen the OLAP engine which can perform all these OLAP operations. That includes different types of OLAP engines. So in this video, we are going to talk about the different types of data warehouse schema that is used for representing multi-dimensional data. Now, before we get into the different types of data warehouse schema, let us just see what are the schema that are used in relational database management system and data warehouse. Now in the RDBMS, the database schema consists of a set of entities and relationship between them. So we use the ER model, entity relationship data model, which is commonly used in the design of relational databases. And this is the one which is appropriate for all the online transactional processing. Whereas in the data warehouse, we need a very concise and subject-oriented schema that facilitates the OLAP, analytical processing. And the very popular data model for the data warehouse, we all know that it is multidimensional data model. And for multidimensional data model, we have very different forms: the star schema, snowflake schema, and a fact constellation or galaxy schema. So these are the three popular forms of multi-dimensional data model, or we can say these are the three popular schemas that are used in the multi-dimensional data model. Let us see what is star schema. So this is the most common modeling paradigm that is used for MD model. In the schema, the data warehouse contains a large central table which you call as the fact table that contains the bulk of the data without any redundancy, and it also contains smaller attendant tables which you call as the dimension tables. For each dimension we will have one dimension table, and this schema graph resembles a starburst with dimension tables displayed in radial pattern around the central fact table. I'll show you an example. This is how it looks like. You will have a fact table, and around the fact table we will have different dimension tables also. Since it looks like a starburst, we call it as star schema. So the schema graph resembles starburst with the dimension table displayed around the central fact table. So here in the star schema, we have one central fact table, and around that we have all the dimension tables joined with the fact table. So since the schema resembles a star with points radiating from the center, we call it a star schema, and the center of the star will be the fact table and the points of the star are the dimension table. Now when you take the star schema, the fact tables will be in the third normal form, but the dimension tables are not normalized. They are in the denormalized form. So that is one point that we have to understand in the star schema. Now let us see what will be the contents of fact table and dimension table. The fact table contains detailed summary data. Aggregate value will be available in the fact table. That is the fact, whatever fact or whatever subject or whatever theme you are going to select for the data warehouse, that will be the fact data. For example, if it is for university, you can have the total number of admissions for each and every course, or you can have the pass percentage for each and every course, or you can say the sales of a particular company, or you can say the number of units manufactured, like that. These are the facts, we call it as a subject or theme, and that data on detail or aggregate level will be available in the fact table. And the fact table will have foreign keys to the dimension table, and it will also have the measures that those that contain numeric facts, and its primary key has one key per dimension. I'll show you an example. Observe this example. We have the fact table and we will have the dimension table. So the fact table will have the foreign keys to the dimension table. So we have time key, which is the primary key of the dimension table called time. Item key is the foreign key, which is the primary key in the item dimension table. Branch key is the foreign key, which is the primary key in the branch dimension table. Location key is the foreign key, which is the primary key in the location dimension table. So all these things are the foreign keys referring to each dimension table, and you will have a summary value, what the amount sold or number of units sold, like that. You will have the summary or the aggregate value in the fact table. So that is what is told here. A fact table contains two types of columns. One will be the foreign key, the other one will be the measures, which will be the summary or aggregated value. And its primary key has one key per dimension. So here 4 dimension tables are there connected to the fact table. So 4 foreign keys will be available here. Now when you take the dimension key, a dimension is a structure usually composed of one or more hierarchies that categorize the data. It depends on if your dimension has hierarchy, then that hierarchy can also be included in the dimension table, otherwise simply the dimension. So if your dimension has no hierarchies, then it is called as flat dimension or list, otherwise you call it as hierarchical dimension table. And the primary key of each of the dimension table are part of the composite primary key of the fact table. Yes, that is what we have seen. This 4 foreign keys combined together becomes the composite primary key of the fact table that corresponds to each and every dimension table. So that is what is mentioned here. The primary key of each dimension table are part of the composite primary key of the fact table. All the foreign keys here are combined together. So you call it as composite, and the composite keys will create a primary key for the fact table. The dimensional attributes describe the dimensional value that are normally descriptive textual values. The values will be your descriptive and textual value, and the dimension tables are generally small in size than the fact table, because you are going to have only one primary key value in the dimension table, but that will be repeated again and again in the fact table for different values. So this is smaller in size comparing to the fact table. So these are some of the main characteristics of star schema. I will show you an example of star schema. Another example, we have already seen star schema is the simplest type of data warehouse schema. Here the center of the star will have one fact table and number of associated dimension table will be available, and it is also known as star join schema and is optimized for querying large data sets. And this is another example. We have a fact table and I have 4 different dimension table: dealer, date dimension, product dimension and branch dimension. So for dealer dimension, I have a primary key here which becomes a foreign key, and for the branch I have branch ID as the primary key, that becomes the foreign key here. Then for the dimension table product, model ID is the primary key which is used here as the foreign key, and date ID is the primary key which is used here as the foreign key. Now if you take the star schema, some of the characteristics of star schema are every dimension in the star schema is represented with only one dimension table, and the dimension table contains a set of attributes also. What do you mean by the attributes? So the dealer ID has some of the attributes like location ID, country ID, dealer name, dealer contact. These are the attributes. If you take the branch ID, name, address, country, these are the attributes that are coming in the dimension table. So the dimension table contains set of attributes also. And the dimension table is joined to the fact table using a foreign key. That also we have seen. So it is dealer dimension table is joined to the fact table using the foreign key. Then the dimension tables are not joined to each other, they are separate tables, and the fact table contain the foreign keys and the measures, that also we have seen. And the star schema is easy to understand and it provides optimal disk usage also. The dimension tables are not normalized here. Then some of the other characteristics of the star schema, it is simple in structure, it is easy to understand, and great query effectiveness is also there because small number of tables are to be joined here. So great query effectiveness will be there in the star schema, and relatively long time of loading data into dimension table because it is going to be denormalized. Redundancy data cause the size of the table could be larger, and the most commonly used data warehouse implementation is the star schema, and it is widely supported by large number of business intelligence tools. Large number of business tools are using the star schema as its preferred schema. Now if you take the star schema, the relationship between the fact table and the star schema is also one of the important concept that we have to understand. In the star schema, the relationship between the dimension table and the fact table is one to many relationship between the dimension table and the fact table. Why? Because one tuple in the fact table corresponds to only one tuple in each dimension table, right? So one tuple in the fact table, suppose if you take a dealer ID, this corresponds to only one tuple or record in the dealer's dimension table, whereas one tuple in the dimension table corresponds to more than one entries in the fact table, because the same dealer will be there for different branches. The same dealer may be having different products also. But the same dealer ID will be repeated for different branches, and the same dealer ID will be repeated for different models also. So dealer ID will be only one in the dimension table, but in the fact table it will have many number of same dealers ID with different models and different branches or different dates, right? So that is what it says. One tuple in the dimension table corresponds to more than one tuple in each fact table. So the relationship between dimension table and fact table will be one to many. But suppose, say for example, I have dealer X and he is supplying products to branch 1 and branch 2. He is supplying item 1, item 2 and item 3, right? So he is supplying 3 items to 2 different branches. So how will you enter it in the fact table? Dealer 1 XXX his ID and branch 1 and product 1. So that will be one tuple. Again in the second tuple, dealer XXX, branch 2 and item 1. In the same way, XXX dealer, branch 1, item 2, branch 2 and item 2. Like that, for each item, for each branch, the dealer name will be repeated here, or dealer ID will be repeated here. So what happens? One tuple in the dimension table will have more than one entries in the fact table. So the relationship is one to many relationship, right? So that is what you call as star schema. So we have seen this example also, and this example also is repeated. Now the next schema is called a snowflake schema. Now in the snowflake schema, the dimension tables are normalized. It is also similar to star schema. The difference here is the star schema dimension tables are denormalized, but in snowflake schema dimension tables are normalized. Therefore, the dimension table will be split into additional tables, and the resulting graph looks like a snowflake, right? Continuously you will have a dimension table connected to another dimension table connected to another dimension table. Say for example, this is the fact table connected to dimensions. What are the 4 different dimensions? Shop is one dimension, time is another dimension, product is the 3rd dimension, client is the 4th dimension. Now the shop details is further divided into different dimension tables like city and region. Earlier in the star schema, the city and region are clubbed into the shop table itself. Now the city details and region details are separated into additional tables, because we are normalizing the dimension table. The same way, if you have product, the brand details and the supplier details will be placed together in a single table in the case of star schema. But now what we have done, the brand information and the supplier information is now put into additional tables for the normalization purpose. So this becomes a normalized table. If you combine this brand information and supplier information in this table, then the table will be in the denormalized form. So that is what is done in the snowflake schema. The resulting schema graph looks like a snowflake because you have continuously flakes available here in the dimension table. So we call it as snowflake schema. So the only difference between snowflake and star schema is the dimension tables of the snowflake model is normalized form to reduce the redundancies. And the snowflake schema normalized the table is easy to maintain and saves the storage space also. But this saving of space is negligible in comparison to typical magnitude of the fact table. Right, when you compare the fact table size, this saving of space is negligible. That is what they mean here. Let us see another example for snowflake schema. Again, this is the fact table. In the fact table, the item dimension is now normalized so that I get a supplier information also. Then the location table is also normalized by adding city information separately. Let us see another example. In the snowflake schema, I have a fact table and the dealer information is now added with location information and country information separately. So this dimension table is having additional dimension table for the normalization purpose. Whereas here product table is having additional information about the variance. So this is maintained separately and this is maintained separately. It will be joined using the foreign key measure. So snowflake schema is nothing but an extension of star schema. It adds additional dimension table and the dimension tables are normalized, that splits the data into additional tables. So these are some of the characteristics of snowflake schema. The main benefit of snowflake schema is it uses smaller disk space and it is easier to implement because a dimension can be added easily to the schema. Due to multiple tables, query performance will be reduced because see, when you see the star schema, the product information, everything can be accessed from this table itself. Whereas if you see snowflake schema, if I want to access the product information, this table must be joined with this table. Only then I can access the data. So multiple tables are used for the query. So obviously the performance may be reduced. And the challenge here is the snowflake schema need to perform more maintenance efforts because of the more lookup tables. Why? See, just to get the location details of a dealer or country details of the dealer, it has to access this table and it has to access this table also. So obviously this becomes a primary challenge because maintaining all these tables will be a tedious task in the snowflake schema. And not only that, the snowflake schema has some disadvantages also because it reduces the effectiveness of browsing because you need more joins to execute a query, and the system performance will also be affected, and this is not as popular as the star schema for the data warehouse design. And this is the example we have seen for the snowflake schema. Now the third type of schema is called as fact constellation schema, which is also known as galaxy schema. See, some of the sophisticated applications may require more than one fact tables. It may use multiple fact tables, and all these fact tables may be sharing the dimension table also. Suppose, say for example, for the university, if I want to have two fact tables, one is dealing with pass percentage, another is dealing with admission record. So obviously the admission record as well as the pass percentage fact table will be pointing to a dimension table that contains the student information, right? So the student information will be shared by two fact tables. One is pass percentage, another is admission record. Both are going to have the same dimension table which contains the student information. So that is what is said here. It may require multiple fact table, and the multiple fact table will be sharing the dimension table. That is, it is going to split the original star schema into more star schemas. Each of them describes facts on another level of dimension hierarchy also. So this kind of schema can be viewed as a collection of stars. So we call it as galaxy schema or fact constellation. And for each star schema, it is possible to construct fact constellation schema also. So if you start dividing the fact information into different tables, obviously you can have constellation schema. and it will share the same dimension table also. I'll show you an example. See, I'm having delivery information as one fact table, sales information as another fact table. Now you can observe here the delivery information is using product dimension table. At the same time, the sales fact table is also using the dimension table called product. So this table is shared by two different facts. So that is what is told here, splitting the star schema. So instead of just storing the delivery information and sales information in a single fact table, I am going to store it in two different fact table. I split the information into two different fact table, and these fact tables will be sharing the dimension table. So it share the same dimension table. Now let us see another example here. I have the sales as one fact table and shipping, which is something similar to delivery, is another fact table. So here also I need to store the item information, and here also I need to store the item information. The same way, here also I need to store the time information, and here also I need to store the time information. So the timetable and the item table are shared by two fact tables. What are they? Sales fact table as well as shipping fact table. So if you are going to include this shipping information here in the sales table itself, then it is going to be star schema. But here this star is now split into more than one fact table, so that I get the constellation schema. Let us see another example also. So in the galaxy schema or the fact constellation schema, you can have more than one fact table which will share the dimension tables between them, and it is also called as fact constellation, and it is viewed as collection of stars. So two fact table, one is dealing about the products, another is dealing about the revenue. Both revenue and the product fact tables are sharing two dimension tables. One is the branch, the other one is the date dimension table, right? So these are some of the characteristics of galaxy schema. The dimensions in the schema are separated into separate dimensions based on various levels of hierarchy. For example, if you want to divide the a region or the geography into different levels like region, country, state, city, then the galaxy schema will have 4 different dimensions. So all these things can also be included in your star schema. Moreover, it is possible to build this type of schema by splitting one star schema into more star schema, which we have seen earlier. And the dimensions are large in the schema, which is needed to build based on the levels of hierarchy. So especially when you have the hierarchical dimension modeling, you can have all these dimensions specified in the star schema, or you can split them into different dimensions and different fact table, and you can have a galaxy schema. And this schema is helpful for aggregating fact tables for better understanding. And let us continue with the discussion here. So this is the example we have seen for the galaxy schema. Then apart from these 3 schemas, we have another schema called as cluster schema, because when you take the snowflake schema, it contains fully expanded hierarchies that add complexity to the schema that requires extra joins. the dimension table is normalized, so obviously you need extra joins. Whereas in the star schema, it contains fully collapsed hierarchy. All the hierarchy will be collapsed together into a single table, which will be having redundancy. So to balance them, these two schemas can be combined together, which you call a star cluster schema design. This is an example of star cluster schema. You will have the customers, order products and the products, right? So this becomes your fact table and this becomes the dimension table. So everything can be combined together, all the products combined together, customers combined together, and you will have a fact table that contains information about both customers and product. So the extra joining will not be there, but you will have the hierarchies also. So that is what star cluster schema, but this is not a popular schema used. And the very popular schema is always the star schema. And you can also go through the differences between star schema and snowflake schema. I collected it from Guru 99 tutorial, and obviously you have another difference is also shown here, the difference between fact table and dimension table. You can go through the differences between fact table and dimension table also if required. And this is another interesting difference which I told you, the difference between star schema and the snowflake schema, and you can also go through how it differs. Always your star schema is simple, whereas snowflake schema becomes a little bit complex because it is going to have normalized data structure, but here it is going to have denormalized data structure. And in the fact table star schema, one fact table surrounded by dimension table, but here one fact table surrounded by dimension table, which in turn is also surrounded by dimension table. And the hierarchies for the dimensions are stored in the dimension table itself, but here we are going to divide in the snowflake schema. And in star schema, only single join creates the relationship between the fact table and dimension table, but it requires many joins. One fact table joined with one dimension table, that will be again joined with another dimension table, and so on. So here high level of data redundancy, but here low level of data redundancy. And single dimension table contains all the aggregated data, but here you are going to split them into different dimension table. And here queue processing is faster because all the information is available in a single table, but here queue processing will be little slower because of the complex join being happening. And star schema gives you higher performance and optimization also. The tables will be connected with multiple dimensions, whereas snowflake schema is represented by a centralized fact table which unlikely connected with multiple dimensions. So these are some of the differences you can note for the star schema and the snowflake schema. And of course you can also go through the differences between the dimension table and the fact table, right? So that's it about the data warehouse schema. Thank you.